Well, it's been a while since I've done a cold start because it's been a while since it's been cold here, but it's about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've got to move the 88 M3 to get some parts. That's boring. Modern engines are far too reliable and refined. Doesn't even sound bad that it has 10W60 in it. Maybe I'll go over and start the Mercedes before I leave here. So I'm actually just here to drop off the spare wheel for this car, but since I'm here and it hasn't been started in, I'd say a little over a month, and it's 20 degrees, should make for interesting cold start if the battery still has charge, which it does. Excellent. She still runs. It's good to know. Well, this one's not quite as fair because it has been in a 50-degree garage, but she fired right up too. Nice. And in addition to a cold start, this is a car, if any of you guys know of somebody that's in the market for, do hit me up. This is a 96 two-door BMW M3 5-speed, 163,000 miles, Boston green on caramel Lux interior. It's actually pretty structurally sound. It's definitely got a little bit of surface rust here and there, but pretty good, pretty typical for 163,000. You could rebuild this car. All it really needs is a fender, a bumper, a nose panel, and some headlights. I still have the side skirt in the car even. I was contemplating parting it out, but it's fairly solid, so I'd almost feel bad doing so, but maybe come spring if nobody's bought it, I will still. Engine trans are a peach. It's got a 3.23 limited slip differential, as they do. Honestly, like the problem areas around here, no real rust. None on this side. There's a little bit right here on the passenger side. Pretty solid car. The interior is nothing to write home about. Clearly it sat for quite a while. A good cleaning would definitely do it some good, but front seats are pretty heavily worn considering the mileage. But she's a happy engine. So it's a good candidate for a track car or probably a part out. You could fix it, but it's a prior salvage title, so maybe not quite as much motivation to do that. Oh, apparently I have a vacuum leak though. Weird. Drove it home 25 miles yesterday without a hitch. Has good power and all that, so. Again, if you know somebody in the near term that's looking for one of these cars for a track car or a fun toy, let me know. It's probably going to be just a hair under $3,000, something like that, so. Yay. So, Hoonicorn. I know I'm kind of blue balling you guys on Brexit, the turbo wagon. I did have some modification done to the turbine compressor housing to get that hopefully going again pretty soon here, but that's going to be my winter project on the lift here because pretty much landlocked once snow starts falling. So today on this car, the rear brake line ruptured about a week ago. So I have new brake hard line, have fittings. I haven't bought a bubble flare kit and a bender, but unfortunately I bought the metric variety. So I had to go to an O'Reilly Auto Parts today and rent the SAE version. So I have to fix the entire rear brake line, which is probably going to be a ton of fun. Then I also have to do something with the fuel lines in the back because those are leaking. Kind of all in the same area, a lot of road salt, a lot of sitting. So the reason why you see so much wiring stuff on the hood is for the light bar. This is actually for a boat. It's the rear, I don't know what you call it, a navigation light. The little white light on the back of the boat, it's actually a socket for that. So it's just the cheapest water resistant socket I could find that had electrical contacts. About $6, but it looks like it'll work, which is great. The car is going for the rally vinyl tomorrow at some point, so I just wanted to make it a little more roadworthy and safe to drive. I'll probably take it home today. And yeah, once I get it up on the lift, just kind of check it over again. Make sure nothing else is completely out of whack. And yeah, we'll see. So I'm gonna put it up in the lift here and see what we can see. So, it wasn't actually the line I thought it was. It was the hard line between the brake caliper hose and the flex hose down here. So, obviously, being a Minnesota car its whole life, the line is completely shot. I had to actually clip the lines on both ends with a dike and then cut the backing plate off and then use my 11mm extractor with an impact to pull these out. So this is the old line here. Sorry for the lack of focus, this thing's not always great. And I have here just a new BMW brake line. I also have tubing and some SAE stuff, but since it's a shorter line than I expected, I'm going to use the genuine article because I have it. So I'm going to get out my tube bender, try to bend this into about the right shape, and I'm going to clip it, deburr it, and do a bubble flare on it and try to make it as close as I can before reinstalling and then obviously bleeding again. So there's my crude attempt at making a new brake line for this car. I'm going to try to install it and see what happens. Well, it's not a perfect fit, but it does fit. So I'm gonna try to put some brake fluid in it now and see if I can get it to bleed out. So there's the old fuel hard line, split completely in half at that little metal coupler. All I did was cut back the fuel line a little bit, get some new hose, 2 clamps, and put it all back together. Now I'm just gonna fire the car up. If it doesn't leak, it's pretty much good to go. The brake line, that worked beautifully. It's not quite long enough. I'm not sure where the extra length went, but it doesn't much matter. Yeah, I'll be excited that this car is actually more or less safe to drive with 4 brakes and more importantly, not hemorrhaging fuel like it used to. We will just have to see. Well, this ended up being much more of an ordeal than I had anticipated. The fuel line was rotten so far back, every time I spliced it, it started leaking further upstream. So, at this point, I've got the return line joined about 12 inches, and I've got the feed line joined, well, most of the way really, actually all the way from there up to there, and unfortunately I ran out of this nice 5/16 hose, so I zip tied as much as I could and spliced as much as I could, as well as using up all of my hose clamps. So I'm gonna drop her back down now, and hopefully it does not leak anymore. Would be nice to be done for today. Just like that, she's running, no leaks. Gotta love it. That is the first time this car has not leaked something since I bought it.